morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to AWS She Builds Tech Skills. My name is Major, and I'm a solutions architect from AWS. And with me today, we have a super host, Mahima.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good morning. Thank you, May, for having me on the show and giving me this opportunity. Team, I'm from AWS India. I'm a senior technical account manager working for FSI customers. It's almost 7:30 a.m. in the morning, so I hope I can see some audience from India as well joining us.
That's amazing. 7:30. That's pretty early. I'm coming from Sydney, Australia. Mahima, you're from India.
Right.
We can see a lot of people on the live stream. Let us know where you're joining from. Put it in the chat. Let us know which location you're joining from. Are you from India supporting Mahima and also our special guest, or are you from somewhere across the world? Tell us in the chat. Welcome everyone. Today is our episode 4. So episode 4 for the very first season, and this whole show we have been showcasing different community members, community heroes, and community builders from across the APJ region. So we had a few shows in Australia. We have a show from New Zealand. Now we have the one from India. Very special episode. And if you're first time checking out Sheeple's Tech Skills, Sheeple's Tech Skill is all about empowering women to do more public speakings, encouraging women to do more technical showcase, creating a safe space, and for all of us, including myself, to learn something new about technology, to be inspired by our guest speakers, and this is all this show about. So if you have any questions about the show, about our guest speaker or about AWS, drop it in the chat and let us know. So Mahima, how are things going with you in India? I know you've been pretty busy with community events, so tell us a little about the your latest community contributions and things going on in India.
Very well. It's raining community days in India right now. We have approximately 22 communities within India, covering majority of the cities that we have. And recently, we finished one of the community events in my home city, Mumbai. It was a user group community day for Mumbai, and I was one of the speakers over there. I presented one topic on deploying Gen AI based applications efficiently using serverless containers. So it was a
Oh
good
wow.
session. We had a host of different speakers from across the industries, various startups. So it was a wonderful day at User Group Mumbai.
That is amazing. I just dropped the link in the chat with the user group. So that's the Mumbai user group. So there are a lot of activities happening. Tell us a little bit more about your topic.
Uh, so, uh, I mean, usually we have seen that Gen AI based applications is the new trend which is happening in India or across the world. And specifically, we have lot of services being launched where other services can take advantage of the Gen AI based, modules or models that we have, the LLM models that we have. So my topic was mainly around how we can use Gen AI based applications and LLM models
Yeah.
along with ECS and Fargate. So we only covered ECS and Fargate, not the EKS one. But yes, we have the models available to deploy it on EKS as well if people are looking for containers.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Cool, awesome. So, Mahima, do you want to introduce the special guest for this month?
Yes, absolutely. So, guys, we have a very, very special guest joining us. She's one of the community builder uh, and a community hero from Delhi User Group. I would like to welcome Dipali Kulshresht. She is currently a vice president of data engineering at NetWest Group today. Welcome, Dipali. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's a real pleasure to have you today.
Thank you, Maima. Thank you so much. Hello, May.
Hello,
So,
hello.
hello,
How are you today?
everyone. All great. It's like bright, sunny morning. So, yeah, pleasant weather as of now.
Great. Thank you, Dipali. How are you feeling today? How
Very
are life?
excited, very excited to really talk to this city community. So yes, normally we get interactions with our local communities or maybe communities in India, but yes, it is a special opportunity where I get to interact with the community, like Australia community. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Dipali, so I want to understand what is your current role, what you are doing, and how your journey to becoming from a community builder to a community hero. Can you please tell us about that?
Yeah, sure, Maima, I would love to. So, hello everyone. My name is Dipali Kulsrest, and as I mentioned, I'm really thrilled to be here on the She Builds Tech stream today. And as you know, I'm based in Delhi, India, and I'm working as an IT professional from last 19 years now. And throughout my journey, I have been part of initiatives that has actually revolutionized the way we leverage data to drive business decisions. So, in my current role, I'm currently working as AWS solution architect with NetWest Group, and there I'm focusing more on driving innovations and excellence in data solutions. And currently, we are on a journey to make data architecture simple and make it accessible to everyone in the organization in a completely governed manner. But yes, as Mahima, you
Okay.
mentioned, my involvement with technology extends far beyond my day job. And I'm a strong believer in the power of community. And that's where I'm deeply connected with AWS community. I'm user group
Mhm.
leader for AWS User Group Delhi NCR, and where I love fostering collaboration and knowledge sharing among the AWS enthusiasts. And my user group has recently crossed the milestone of achieving like 10,000 plus members in this January. So
Oh,
it's
Wow.
that's
a
amazing.
growing community. Yeah. And so I joined this user group in 2019. And then in 2020, I got selected as community builder. So that gave me actually opportunity to connect with other community members in India, in different cities, and even in different countries. So I would say pandemic has really helped me to grow my community network, because that time all the events were happening virtually and I got opportunity to speak at various like AWS community meetups as well as AWS events. And I also hosted like global speakers for my user group. So
Oh,
pandemic has really helped me to go beyond my city, beyond my local community, and get global actually. So yeah, with time, this my contributions and my leadership were recognized, and I was honored to be named as AWS Hero in 2022. And
Wow.
this recognition,
Congratulations.
thank you. So this recognition obviously like it motivates me further, and every recognition or every such titles comes with more responsibility, I would say. So this motivates me even further to share my knowledge and empower others, especially women in tech in their cloud journey. And with that thought process, recently, along with other women's in India community, we have started a new user group named as AWS User Group Women in Tech India, to provide a safe space to all the women who wants to learn and who wants to talk about their challenges, share their challenges with us, and share their ideas. So yes, everyone can learn and grow.
that's
So yeah,
amazing,
pretty much
Dipali.
that's my journey.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Dipali, my next question is because we have so many live audiences here, what are the latest trends and technologies that you would recommend are, the people should look for in 2024?
Interesting question, Mahima. Like, so though I feel there are many exciting trends in cloud computing, but as you started with, generative AI is something which continues to be the talk of the town nowadays. So I think we all need to explore, we all need to learn to innovate with generative AI in each and every space we are working on. So since I'm like focused on data space, so what I felt like this time, like all the organization, whether they are like small in size, mid-size organization or enterprises, each and every organization, they are struggling to leverage full potential of generative AI because they don't have like data at one place. So they are like struggling with data sprawl and discoverability issues. So in order to overcome such challenges, I'm currently exploring Amazon Data Zone. And that's the topic which I picked to discuss today. So, and this Data Zone service, it has recently become GA, and this new service helps businesses to like catalog, discover, share, and govern their data more effectively. So, yes, something in combination with generative AI in whatever space you are working on. I think that's the latest trend I'm seeing in this year at least.
Yeah,
Very well said.
I think that's also like if we even generative AI, Dipali, like you said, it's the talk of the town. Everybody talking about it. Every business we're exploring it, like learning new things, new models that coming out. I want to ask the audience if anyone trying the latest Gen AI, generative AI tech stack or whatever you're trying. Let us know in the chat what new technology that you've been trying lately. And I think there is an overlap, even though we're talking about generative AI, I think the data is the core, data is the foundation, right? You need the data set to build on top of it, whether if it is a generative AI or whether if it is a data platform that you want to build. So I think it's the foundation of any products or any of a new analytics platform, generative AI platform. I think the data is the core and then the foundation. So I'm really interested to find out the data zone today.
Yeah, and like from my perspective, means 6, 8, 9 months back, I was literally zero around the AI or generative AI sort of things. But yes, it was booming like anything.
It
So yes,
is.
I means I just gone through beyond like everything, and I prioritized to learn about Amazon Bedrock, and then when Party Rock was available, so I tried my hands on Party Rock as well, and I found it really interesting.
What I also understand is generative AI is not only trending, but it has also become the need of the hour. That any role, any technology, whether you are in data, whether you are in containers, whether you are dealing with anything, generative AI is entering every role, every field. So it has become the need of the hour that everyone should have a good understanding of it so they can start using it also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So earlier, the thought process used to be, mindset used to be like that. Yes, everyone should be hardworking. But nowadays, it has changed. We should not be hardworking. We should be smartly working. So,
Very
absolutely.
well said.
I agree. Yeah, no, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. Dipali, the next question that I have is what are some of your greatest achievements that you are proud of in your entire professional journey?
okay, sure. Sure, Mahima. It's a great question indeed. So, everyone likes to talk about achievements. So, am I. So, what I can recall, the latest one, that at NetWest, like one of my greatest achievement was building a dynamic compute framework for data lake platform. So
Okay.
what happens, like based on the incoming workload, it assigns the like optimal compute platform and the choices between like whether it is a persistent EMR, whether it is like transient EMR, EMR serverless, or glue ETL, because normally these are the compute services which we are using with the data lakes. So, especially for transient EMRs, it was a very enriching learning experience for me because we built a framework to provision on-demand self-service transient EMRs using service catalogs. So
Okay.
what you can do that whenever a workload coming in, you can just create a EMR cluster, run your job and terminate it. So in contrast of like your persistent EMR cluster, which are running 24 cross 7, and while you need to run a job, let's say only for 2 hours. So you just need to pay for 2 hours. You don't need to pay for 24 hours for that. So that's the beauty of this transient EMR. And so this whole exercise helped us reduce the compute cost on our platform by 60%. So that was a great
Oh,
achievement.
that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So,
And yeah.
so you implemented AWS pay on go model, right? So
Yes, yes,
how the amount
definitely.
of
So
time, yes.
yeah, so means anyways we were using like EMRs from like past 2 years, but yes, since it was a growing platform, so we were looking to optimize from the FinOps standpoints. So this is one area which I thought of that. So I did some POC, and then late last year I implemented that. So it was a great learning and great achievement, I would say.
Ah,
And
wonderful. Any
yeah,
other
and
achievement you would like to talk about?
yeah, if I like talk about from community perspective, so becoming an AWS hero, it was a huge honor, I would say. It gave me a lot of visibility, a lot of confidence, and yes, I really felt very rewarding to be recognized for my contributions in mentoring members within the AWS community. Because so far I was just doing because I think I was really passionate about it and I was enjoying. But yes, when you get rewarded for something, that's to like you get a surprise. So yes, it was very good, and it actually motivated me to create to share more with the community. And that's where I like created courses on AWS and published them on LinkedIn Learning. So and it's a proud feeling, to see great feedback on those courses. So like I have created courses on DevOps and data engineering, and they are available on LinkedIn. And soon there will be new courses available on Amazon Bedrock, and another one is coming around DevOps professional certification preparation.
That's
So yes,
awesome.
like because
That's a lot of content you're creating, Dipali.
yes, I think it's all the love and affection of the community which like motivates me to really create and share
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
I so while you're talking about it, I just want to create a poll for everyone who is watching on the stream. So let's take a look at the question. Do you know any AWS community builders? Type in the chat. Number one, yes. Number two, no. Or do you know any community heroes in the region? No, that's okay. We have a few no's in the chat. I know a few community builders. We have a Sydney AWS community program and also meetup group as well. Quite a few yeses. Um, and if you know anyone and you want to give a shout out to your awesome community builders, you can also put it in the chat. And I
Uh,
think there is also a question in the chat. What is the benefits of being an AWS community hero? I think that's the best question, Dipali, for you to answer.
Sure. I think the first and foremost benefit to get connected with like-minded people, and being a hero, you get a lot of other benefits. Like you get to hear about the upcoming like services or the features sooner than they become generally available. So yes, you can start exploring on those things
Yeah,
well in advance, and you can
yeah.
stay ahead in your learning curve. So that is the another key benefit. And one another tangible benefit, that yes, you get like a sponsored trip to attend reInvent in Las Vegas, which happens every year in November. And so yeah, I
Oh,
think these are
that's
the key benefits I
amazing.
can think of.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Uh,
think these are some of the benefits, but the reinvent is, I think, the cherry on the cake.
True.
yeah.
And
Early access
like
to thing. Yeah.
in that group, like when you connect with other heroes, or if you are a builder, when you connect with other builders, you get to discuss lot many ideas, you get to see so many innovative things people are trying. So you can form a team, you can pair up with the guys, and can like innovate. Because uh, individually you are trying to do so many things, but yes, when you get a team, you can really innovate faster, you can go far ahead in that curve, so and you can like
Absolutely.
feel proud about it.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, Dipali, so you've been in AWS Community Heroes and you have been in the industry quite a long time. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to the audience who are watching live or maybe on demand?
Sure, May. So I think in this ever changing technology space, learning continuously is something which is very, very important. And that's where the power of community is incredibly valuable. Because as I mentioned, it's a like fantastic way to learn about new offerings, because you get to see like-minded people. You get people that with whom you can discuss your ideas, who can understand, who can guide you to implement them in a better way. So and you can network with other professionals, and it allows you to really innovate faster and contribute more meaningfully. And I'm sure everyone is learning all the time. So with learning, start sharing your learnings as well, whether by writing blog posts or creating YouTube videos talking about to your local communities. And if you haven't joined any user group, yes, please do join. So you get an environment where you can share your learnings. So learning and sharing is the very important thing. And if I talk about my personal experience, so one of my transformative experience in my career involved stepping outside of my comfort zone. Because although like public speaking was never my forte, but I volunteered to conduct AWS trainings within my organization and then presented at user group meetups. And so it not only challenged me to learn and grow, but also helped me overcome my fear and become more confident
Yeah,
speaker. So please do remember, pushing your boundaries is an essential part of your like personal and professional growth. So
that's
always
awesome.
keep on pushing yourself.
That's
Really
an
well
awesome
said.
advice. Yes.
All right. I think maybe this is time for a technical topic.
Okay, sure.
So, Dipali, so tell us a little bit about a what technical topic. And we know that it's going to be a little bit about the data zone, but
Mhm.
tell us a little bit more about, what's the scenario that we're going to see and what inspired you to create this project.
Yeah, as I mentioned May in the beginning, like being in the data space, and when we try to leverage, and when I talk to other like colleagues or other community members, I realize like everyone wants to leverage generative AI, and they want to simplify, because nowadays data is something which is driving all the business decision. Data is the fuel, which
Yeah,
the saying which we are hearing from couple of years now. So like, but every organization is kind of struggling because they have a data spreaded across different data sources, and this data is available in different formats, and many of them has actually become the data silos. So how to actually use that data for meaningful analytics? Because when you want to do some analytics, you want to use old data as well as new data, so you can actually see the trends. So that's where I started exploring data zone recently, and I found it really very interesting, so thought to share around the data zone with the community. But yes, before
definitely.
I start, I would like to hear from like audience as well, that like what challenges do you generally see when you are trying to do some analytics, or you are trying to make some decision based on data. So what challenges our audience is generally seeing in this data space?
Yeah. Anyone who is watching the stream, let us know in the chat. We have Mai, who is also looking after the chat and being a chat moderator today. So, what challenges do you usually see? I like for me personally, I have seen a with a lot of my customers where data has been spread across and it's duplications of the data with different departments sitting in their own data silo and different places. It's really hard to gather and see or perform analytics or see the patterns, like you mentioned, Dipali, to see what's going on with the data. That has been a very common challenge. You know, the team build their own data center, data warehouse, but never really share those data to have that common way to use that.
Yeah, very well said, May. So, like, data duplication is another big challenge. And because, what happens, like, when data is stored at one place, it's not compatible to be used with other tools. And that's where people need to copy that data into in that tool so that they can use with that tool. So, that's how data duplication. And when we are like making some changes into that data, it becomes inconsistent. So, yes, these are the key problems which we are consistently seeing into the data space.
Yeah,
So
and
please go ahead.
yeah, no, please you go ahead.
So yeah, so do we have any insights from audience? Because these are the problems which I'm observing personally. But yes, if we get to hear some another different problem which we might not have thought or we which we might not have experienced so far, do we have anything from the audience?
Let's see if you have any questions. If you see any challenges, similar challenges or new challenges, pop it in the chat. Um, I've seen one question from the audience saying, "Can I learn a lot when we take AWS Data Engineering certification from Nikolai 1447?" I think that's a really good question. The data engineering certification um, that will cover a lot of the area of like AWS data services, understanding data analytics concept, and also the platform and the tooling that's available to use. A lot of the process of like data process, you know, extraction, transformation, and loading the data. That sort of process you will learn through the data engineering certification. So I definitely think that the data engineering certification um, can help to understand um, what is it like working in the data space, like from whether it is from analytics perspective or whether it is from data warehouse perspective. But when it comes to the real world experience, that's also another story. But yeah, definitely data engineering certification. I think you can learn a lot from that.
Yeah, it gives you like complete visibility, complete experience, starting from data ingestion until you visualize the data. So nowadays we do deal with a lot of with real-time data as well. So you get to learn that how to deal with the batch data, real-time data.
Yeah,
So and I find it really very interesting, and
it's
no
very
wonder
interesting.
because I am into this space from past couple of years. But yes, it is an
Yeah,
interesting field indeed.
and it's so many use cases, and every organization and every company has like at least one data platform, or maybe at least one data project that they have. It's more than one. It's like customer data, your business data, your stock data, different types of data is there. So there's so many use cases that I find it really fascinating in that data space.
Yeah, data is everywhere.
It is. All right. So let's take a look at Tapali.
Sure. So here I'm sharing my screen where I have written this blog post around the data zone, that what are the key challenges which data zone is helping us to solve. So as I briefly mentioned, that the key challenges which we are facing with data, that since data is spread across multiple data sources, so means finding the right data is a challenge, because we don't know whether this data is outdated or is it is still relevant. And if we get access to that data, then how to really trust on that data, that yes, it is a legitimate data, it is coming from a legitimate source, so and it is good to use. So those kind of challenges are still there. And when you're trying to let's say you have got 10 different data sources and you are trying to drive some analytics out of those sources, but all the 10 sources have data available in different formats. So how to query that data using the tool which you are using, so that is another challenge. And obviously governance is the big challenge, because as of now this governance is sitting with all those different 10 data sources. So how to really govern that data at central place, and how to see like who owns this data and who can actually use that data. So governance is a big challenge as of now, if we think from the enterprise perspective especially. So today we are discussing a financial services use case where this financial services company is undergoing under digital transformation like many other companies these days, and they have a vision to make this data available like on a single portal. Let's say everyone can come onto a single portal, so they can see what data is available and they can use that data without bothering about like exactly like from where it is coming, how to access this data, whether I can use this data into this tool of my choice, or like how to manage governance around that. So this is the vision of this company, and that's where like data zone plays an important role. This it is something which can help achieve these goals. So when we talk about data zone, it is a like it is providing a modern ecosystem, I would say, which is
Mhm.
connecting these different data sources, different data producers to the consumers. Because right now if you imagine that yes, data is available in some data warehouse or in some data lake, and you want to use that data, so you just one consumer, but if you think from the enterprise perspective, this data is available in 50 100 different data sources, and there are like 100 teams who want to really use that data and like drive some innovation onto that data. So how to make that data available, how to make that data accessible to these consumers? Any thoughts around that, guys? Do you think like when we have data available in one sources and we want to use that data into a different source, how you generally make it accessible? Any thoughts?
That's a very good question. Anyone watching the stream, how do we make the data more accessible?
While we are getting the questions, Dipali, I have one personal question that what is the difference between data zone and data lake? I mean, this is a very common question and people get confused between the two.
Yes, definitely, Mahima. It's a very valid question. So when we have like data lake, though it help us govern the available data in a better way. It gives us flexibility that yes, we can govern that data maybe at the like table level, row level, column level. So that kind of granularity we can control with the data lake. But when we talk about data zone, it's like it is giving us flexibility to manage on top of data lake. So we can think it as a like service to manage your data lakes basically.
Okay.
And uh, so and with some additional features, because what happens in data lakes, and that's where I was asking the question. So what happens when we are sharing data with the which is available in the data lake? So on each and every data you need to define some permissions, you need to write your policy statements that okay, this data can be accessed by this particular user or this particular role. So you need to write your policy statements. And when you are working in an enterprise like setup, so you like consume your all limit. So because you have a limit with your policy sizing, you have a limit with number of policies you can have in your account. So you get into those kind of challenges. And another challenge is like in data lake you can manage the permissions when you know that yes, this is the data, this is the name of my database, this is the name of my table. So consumer really need to know that yes, I want access on this data, so they can actually request to the data lake team. But there is no way that they can see a list that, okay, this is what is available and this might be useful for my like use case, and let me try to access this data and see if it helps my like use case or not. So there is no data discoverability, I would say, available with data lake. But
Got it.
with data zone, we can see exactly what all is available and we can pick if that can help and in our use case. Because when you are starting on something new, you don't have absolute clarity that exactly what you want, so you want to try out few different things. So with data zone, you get that you get to see that exactly what all is available, so you can pick what may be relevant for you.
Understood.
So
Thank you so much for answering that.
great, I hope like it was helpful and audience could relate to this. But yes, coming back onto the
Definitely.
data zone. So what data zone essentially does is, as we mentioned, like we have a like multiple data producer and multiple data consumers. So when we introduce data zone, so we can introduce it as a central governing body. So from the enterprise perspective, you can think of like you have multiple AWS accounts where different data warehouses, data lakes, or like other databases are present, who are the producers of data, who are producing some data, which can be used by various other consumers in the bank. Again, they are having their individual AWS account and they are trying to use that data maybe from Athena, SageMaker, QuickSight, etc. They are using different tools. So when we try to make this data available from producer to consumer, so in order to make individual data sets available, we need to get into those individual policy and individual permissions. So that's a tricky thing, and that is something data zone is solving, and it is acting as a central governing body. So what happens here, like there is no direct communication between producer and consumer. So all the producers are producing their data to data zone, and all the consumers are accessing that data via data zone. There is no direct communication between producer and consumer, while like data ownership still lies with data producers. So let's say if consumer A wants to access some data set A, or like data set 1, so producer has all rights to like either accept or decline that request, that yes, I want this consumer to use my data or I don't want. So they have all rights. So governance, like though data zone is managing that governance, but still that ownership lies with the data producer. They can accept or decline that data sharing if they want. So if we try to understand in terms of technical architecture, so this is how this architecture looks like. Here, uh, this first box, it is representing the AWS account of producer.
And
And
Dipali, would
yeah,
you be able to zoom in on the architecture diagram? I think there's a
let let me try to, yeah,
yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we can see that now. Perfect. Thank you.
great. So here we have like producer account. So this producer, they have a data lake available in their account where data is available in Glue catalog. And then we have a consumer account who wants to consume this data
Mhm.
available via this producer. Then we have introduced a central data zone accounts here. So what this data zone does, so this data zone makes a connection between producer as well as the consumer. So how it makes a connection? Like it requests the domain association. So domain is nothing; it's a like portal. So let's say we created some portal, and I will show it on that like console in a minute. So this data zone associate your producer and consumer account, and then in data zone, what you do, like you create different projects, and in those projects you associate, you create different profiles for your producer and consumer account. And so this is where you define that exactly what all data sets are published by a producer, because this producer might not want to publish all the data sets they have. They just want
Mhm.
to publish some selective data sets. So all those things you can control here at the project level. And whatever data sets this producer has published, they are available here. So consumer can actually request access on this data. And if producer is happy to share that data with this specific consumer, they will approve this request, so this data is accessible into the consumer account. So at high level, this is how this process works. But yes, let's have a look at the AWS
That's
console now.
yeah, awesome. We've got about 10 minutes left in our streaming time, so let's
Okay,
take a look at the console.
sure,
I'm
sure.
excited to see the live demo.
Yeah, sure. So here, before I get into the data zone, let's have a quick look at how this data is organized in this data lake. So this specific bucket, LF data zone demo. So this is registered as a data lake, and we can see it here. Okay, I need to reload this one. So we can see this LF data zone, this bucket is registered as data lake location. And in this data lake, we have few data sets available: cards DB and sales DB. So inside
Mhm.
this cards DB folder, we have credit cards data, and then we have some like data files available here. Similarly, we have the sales DB database, and then we have sales DB table, and we have this some sales data available here. So how to publish it onto the data zone? So let's quickly go on to the data zone. So on data zone, first of all, we need to onboard this producer. So if you try to relate this diagram, so we need to make this association first of all. So in data zone, there is a concept of domain. So we need to create domain. Domain is nothing. It's a like portal. So you are creating a portal where you can publish data and you can consume from. So I have pre-created this domain here, sales domain. And inside this domain, what you need to do, we have a concept of blueprint, that you need to enable blueprints here, that from where your data is coming. So it will actually establish that connectivity. It will actually establish that pipe, that yes, this
Mhm.
producer can get connected with the data zone. So here you see we have blueprints available for data lake as well as for data warehouse. Since in my use case, I'm just using data lake, I have enabled this blueprint with data lake. Now, if we go to the data portal, so with every domain, you will have this data portal available. So at this data portal, you can actually like create the project and define that exactly what all data sets you want to publish here.
Oh,
So
so
let
this
me,
is outside of a AWS console, and you have your own portal for each data zone product that you created.
yeah, so this is the portal which data zone provides. So yes, it is
Ah,
outside the AWS console, but it is the data zone portal.
data zone portal. Got it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's like the way we use QuickSight. So QuickSight is like outside AWS. It
It has
has
its
its
own
own,
portal.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like similar concept. So let's say here I'm creating a project with name publisher project, and when we like create a new project, we need to link
Mhm.
it with some environment. So here I'm creating this publisher environment, and we need to create environment profile as well to provide detail. So let's say I'm creating this publisher environment profile. Most of the things I'm just keeping like default, and this is the blueprint which I want to use with
Mhm.
this project. And where this profile, where this blueprint is available in this specific account in this region, and I want to allow all projects and all database available in this account, but at this stage I can actually restrict them as well. So now environment profile is created. So I need to complete my environment creation using this profile. So it has picked the profile, and these are the parameters, optional. I can provide some custom names here, but I'm good with the standard ones as of now. So this is creating environment for the producer. So this is where it perform some important steps. So this is where it is like giving accesses to the data
Mhm.
sets available in your producer account. It is actually creating a blueprint. It is actually creating that metadata which is available. So it is not duplicating your data. It is just creating the metadata and providing access onto that metadata. In short, if you just go back to your publisher account, so what it is doing, it is creating this data zone domain as a data lake admin into your account. So it can do all those stuff as an admin on the producer's behalf. And it is like creating some permissions for the consumer standpoint as well. So like consumer can access it, for example,
Yeah.
via Athena.
Yeah.
So as
Cool.
of now, Athena is only available as a consumption method, but yes,
Yeah.
like SageMaker, QuickSight, they are available, and SageMaker, QuickSight, and Redshift, they are available as a beta.
Okay.
That's awesome. I've never
So
actually seen the data zone portal, so I'm learning new things to Pali.
great, I'm glad. So when we create this environment, by default, it creates a data sources. But
Mhm.
when we want to give access on the specific data sources, so we need to create custom data sources here. So I've just named it sales data. And since my data is available in Glue, so I picked Glue. And I need to pick the environment where my data is coming from. Metadata is coming from actually. And this database name is the section where you need to provide your actual data base name. So in our case, we have database name available as like salesdb and cardsdb. So let's say if I just want to make available the salesdb, or maybe I can make available both the, sorry, I like navigated to a different window. So this is where we need to provide the real name of our databases. So here I'm saying sales DB, and if I want to add another database, I can define
Mhm.
cards DB at this stage itself, or I can just provide access onto the one database, that is sales DB. So it's totally onto the publisher. So when we, sorry, I think my bad. I missed one step. Let me quickly repeat these steps.
That's all
Sales
good.
data, clue, picking the environment, and then here I'm saying sales TB.
Yeah. So we're picking both databases.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
publisher is saying that yes, I am happy to publish these two databases.
Yeah.
And here we are saying yes, I'm ready to publish it. You
Yeah.
can keep
Okay.
it in unpublished state if you want to collaborate with other
Mhm.
like projects and all. So you can do those things as well. And this is where you can schedule that how frequently you want to sync it with
Mm.
your source. So here, like either you can schedule it or we can run it on demand. And
Awesome.
with that, you can actually verify these things and create your data source.
Cool.
So it
So we can
says
see
data.
sales data is created.
Yeah, and now we need to run it actually, so it can pull the metadata
Yeah.
with these databases. So this is where we can notice it has like picked this sales table when we
Mm.
like created sales DB. So inside sales DB we had just this table. If I
Yeah.
had multiple tables, it would have listed it here itself. And similarly with the credit cards. So we had
Okay.
the cards DB, and inside cards DB, we had this one table available. So it has pulled that table here. So this is how we like publish this data. Now let's see how I can really consume this data. So similarly, I have created the subscriber project using like and created environment profile for that. So now if I go to subscribed assets here, you notice there is no subscription as of now. So let's say I'm like I'm creating some ML models and I want to use some data available with sales or something.
Yeah.
So I just tried to see that do we have something available with sales. So I can see some sales table is available, and I can just check whether like from where it is coming, which is the account, exactly what is the location from where it is coming. So I can decide whether yes, this is the sales data I want to use from this producer or it's something else. I can actually
So
check the
you can
schema details.
decide. Oh, that's pretty cool. So you can
Yeah,
actually see before you actually consume that data.
right.
I'm afraid we're getting close to the time for the
Okay.
to end the streaming time. So and Dipali, would you be able to wrap up in a few minutes, and
Yeah, yeah, sure.
as an outcome? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So here we can check some attribute details as well, that exactly what all attributes are available. So you can imagine it as a Amazon portal, that let's say if you're
Hmm.
looking for shoes, you get a list of different shoes available, and then uh, ML model trap. I'm just putting it short description in interest of
Yeah.
time. So you requested subscription on this data and provided some description here. And then if we go back onto the publisher project, so this publisher has got this request in this incoming
Ah,
request section. You can
yeah.
see that yes, someone has requested
Requested. Yeah.
access on this data. So you can verify that who has requested and why they
Mm,
have requested. You can verify and either approve or reject it. So once we are approving it as a publisher of this data, let's see how the things are looking at the subscriber end as of now. So now you can see
you
there is
can
one
see that.
subscribed
Yeah.
asset, and this asset is actually getting added into the subscriber's account. So once this adding asset is complete, it takes a while. So now this says, okay, subscription request available. But yes,
And then
adding
you can
asset
start.
takes around a
Yeah.
minute or so. And then when this asset is available, we'll go to this overview section, and there you get this link that, okay, you can
Ah,
query this data. So if you
cool.
open on this link, it will take you to the Amazon Athena,
Mm,
and that's where you will be able to query this data, whatever like is available in that sales data.
yeah.
Understood.
So in
Awesome.
this database, we need to choose the subscriber one because we are like using it as a subscriber. Once the asset is added, it will show you here as
It
a
will
like
show.
you
Yeah.
will see a table available here, and you can simply preview or query that table into this Athena.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dipali. That's really amazing. So you can see, um, you can easily set up this data governance and then create producer and consumer, and then the consumer consume from the Athena. Thank you for walking through a demo, a live demo. If anyone have any questions on watching the live stream, let us know because we're gonna end the stream in a few minutes, and I'm gonna wrap it up from the live demo. I'm going to bring Dipali on the stage. But Dipali, thank you so much for the walkthrough today. That has been a really great to learn new thing about the data set, and also to learn more about your AWS hero journey from India. So that has been so good. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you so
Mahima,
much,
thank
May.
you.
Thank you so
And
much, May.
no problem. Thank you so much for hosting the show today. That wrap up the first season of our AWS She Builds Tech Skills, and we will be coming up with season 2 in the future. So stay tuned for that. And I just want to say thank you, Mai. You've been busy chatting with the audience on the live stream. So, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you,
So
everyone.
now